Hi, I'm Euge Valovirta and greetings from my temporary studio, which is not a studio at all. It's just a laptop and an old Focusrite audio interface. Anyway, Cyhra's new single Bleed with Pride was released today on Friday, April 3rd, and also the pre-orders for the forthcoming album Requiem for a Pipe Dream are also available today. And what is cool that with Apple Music you can actually listen those songs in that album because it's pre-ordered, and as you see from the picture it says Superman re-recorded, Skin from Bones re-recorded, Marco My Sins re-recorded. So those three songs were released as singles last year, and we basically wrote, recorded, and I mixed them, and Maur Applebaum mastered them all at once. Like one at a time. And then when we were doing this album, because this album was recorded in one, continuous time. So we finished the songs like all at the same time in a way. And we just felt like we want to re-record and I want to remix the Superman, Skin from Bones, and Marco My Sins songs. The single versions, I mean, they're great. They were fine. We signed them. I mixed them back in the day. But then when, we were working on this album, we wanted to go back a little bit to the older Cyhra sound. And most importantly, we wanted the album to be unified so that all songs would be in the same ballpark. Because those singles, like I said, we wrote and recorded and mixed them. I mixed them all separately, so they all sounded a little bit different, and we wanted the album to sound unified, in lack of a better word. So you still can listen the original singles, but now with this album you can listen the re-recorded versions. So we recorded everything except vocals and keyboards. So drums, bass, all guitars are being re-recorded. I remixed them, and then Jacob Hansen, he mastered all of the songs. He mastered this whole album again to get a unified sound and level for the album. So yeah, that's out. Pre-order it. Listen the new remixed, re-recorded, remixed, remastered songs from Apple Music. I don't think they are available on Spotify and Rock and other apps. I might be wrong, but I think there's just a Bleed with Pride single out. But on Apple Music, you can listen the new versions, which obviously I think are better versions. Because we read them better. Anyways, let's go to business. So guitar mixing for Bleed with Pride, and the same kind of approach and similar sounds appears on all other songs as well. So let's go to my Pro Tools session of the song, and I'll show you what we did and why we did and why I did, and so all right, welcome aboard. All right, this is the Pro Tools session of Bleed with Pride recording and mixing, record and mix. Let's listen after the first chorus. If you want to listen to the full song, please go to the streaming services.
Have faith in scars that keep me honest. I've
right, you get the idea. So a little bit about the general arrangement and the thought process. So left and right guitars, and then this center guitar was added. Like afterwards, we felt that okay, this needs a little bit more of these heavy parts, just a little bit more gut. The bass, it's not really clanky, and the idea for the bass that it just provides the low end for the mix and for the guitars. Let's listen to the bass and the guitars. First, just guitars, then when I bring the bass. So it's just like there to support giving the low end. And there's these synth basses, which was Soft-Tube's Monument bass. They are fairly quiet. It just gives this certain extra depth to the sound. Like that. And I used my ESP LTD Phoenix bass, and the bass amp is the Pro Tools Sunset PSA1 and a Mammoth. I always forget the brand, but it was something that started with the A. But anyway, Mammoth. Tip to the brand maker, you should put your brand on this plugin. I never remember what was the brand. Okay, so that's the bass. There's compression, EQ. It's pretty much the same. If you watch my mixing tutorial videos, how I mix bass and stuff, it's exactly like that. There's your usual LA3A style compressors, SSL channel strip, EQing like this, you know, adding some lows and upper mids, taking out some box mids out. Really basic stuff. Adding a little, you know, saturation to the low end and so on. But that's basically the basic, really basic. This synth is just kind of adding this deep boom to the whole thing. Okay, then guitars. So it was, I think we recorded this in November, so I need to rely on my notes, what we used. So it looks like it's Maxon OD808, SLO, Soldano, a V30 speaker. It was the Mesa Boogie cabinet, and I'm pretty sure we used the 57 Royal 121. This was the right guitar is 5150 with the MXR Custom Badass modified OD, which is a modified SD3. Same cab, same speaker. The center guitar is a Lord Vader, which is a Mesa Boogie dual rectifier, SD1 in front, Carnivore speaker. I believe we used 57 MD421 on this one to mic the Carnivore speaker, and the processing on the individual tracks, there's nothing. This is just on to give some SSL flavor. On the Carnivore, I notched out a tiny bit of 5K, and here is nothing. So all the processing is happening on this bus. The tuning is drop B flat, except the intro riff is in drop F sharp. Originally it was in drop B flat, but when I was mixing, I felt like, because it goes kind of like here, and I felt like I wanted to go lower, but I couldn't with that tuning, so I, you know, changed to a 7-string and I tuned it to drop F sharp, so I could play the same notes lower. So this could be played on a drop B guitar, but you know, you're not getting the woof, the deep woof that you will get with the 7-string drop F sharp guitar. And the center guitar is quite a bit lower than the others, but it just gives this extra depth and glues the sides together because they are paired hard left, hard right. It sounds like this. hear, the bass is just there to provide a huge low end. And let's go through the processing there. Let's use the same part. So first thing, there is a soothe, which just takes a little bit of the upper mid peaks. I mean, it's hardly audible, very little. Then a multiband compressor, which on this lower tuned part, it also compresses the low end a little bit. Mostly it's compressing the lower mids. Cool. Then we have Pro Q4, which there's a low cut, and then I added a little bit more mids and took out some whistling frequencies. Let's listen how that sounds. So it just makes the guitar sit better in the mix, because the cymbals are giving me this. I didn't need that to come from the guitars. Then the fourth thing in the bass is wow thing. Wow thing widens the sound, adds a little bit of this smooth bottom and cuts a little bit mids and adds some presence. Let's listen that first in solo. So it widens the bit, and in this case it adds a tiny bit of volume to the guitars. Then the main EQ, not doing much, just a very little of, it's 11K-ish, taking out a little bit 4.5K-ish, taking out a little bit 500, then low cut, high cut. And then there's a compressor on, which is doing quite little, but it's just making the guitars more present. I really love the SSL channels to compressors. They're not just compressors, they also add some mojo and a presence to the sound, like you heard. And then this track spacer, this is just the tuning is so low, it only tames down the low end of the guitars when there's too much low end related to kick drum. So this is sidechain from a kick drum. Listen to the kick drum. When I put this on, the kick drum becomes a little bit more present. I don't usually do this with a higher tuned guitars, but tuning this low, it helps. And then I'm sending stuff to Dimension, D-chorus and the guitar room, and they are here. It's the UAD's Dimension D, and the guitar room is UAD's Sound City Studios, like a stereo room. And now let me bypass the effects so you'll hear. Let's solo this. Let's start from this. So the chorus and the room adds nice width and space to rhythm guitars. So that's the rhythm guitar processing. quite simple. I mean, there's a few plugins, but they all are doing a very little and very specific things. Okay, then the melody guitars, and these guitars, these were played both by me and Marcus. Can't remember anymore, but I think Marcus played all the melody guitars. I played the first riff, this heavy riff, and I think Marcus played the rest of the guitars. Maybe I did the center guitar, or maybe I also did maybe this part, but I can't remember because it's 5 months since we recorded. Because we recorded all guitars to this album, like 11 songs in I think 4 days or 5 days. It was long days, lots of playing, swapping guitars, swapping roles. And bass is, I think we both played. I think I played the main riff part because, like I said, I added that when I was mixing. But I think Marcus played the rest of the bass, if I remember all right. Okay, so the melody guitars. So they're playing this harmony thing. So left one, and it's their pants 75, left 75, right. So it sounds like there's some third and fifth harmonies going on, and the processing is a lot similar than it was on the rhythm guitars. These were recorded with the Bad Boy, that's my JCM 800, Super Overdrive, Carnivore. Maybe we used only 57 on this one, I can't remember because I haven't written it. The ride is the same, and then there's this couple of others, which is the same sound, same everything. They are just on different tracks because I think they were recording on different tracks because they kind of clash a little bit here. And then there's this melody, this kind of phone thing. Well, that's these are plug-in. So there's my NAM captures of the hard hitters, caps, amp packs. You can buy via strange angles, link in the description. So this is a SD1 JCM 800 Little Brother cab 57. This was a Mesa V30 cab, mic with a 57, and then into Neve 1073 mic pre. They are both the same. And then there's this fast box. If I bypass the guitars, this sounds like this. Fast box. So it's simulating a megaphone. This is great. This is Mac DSPs. And what else? Is there any processing? No, it's just to add the color. And the bass processing is similar to the rhythm guitars. So again, sooth taking a little bit out of the peaks on upper mids. Parallel compression, this shouldn't be doing much because they are playing high. Very occasionally when there's lower notes, it changes down the lower mids. Pro Q is the same EQ than on the rhythm guitars. And then here is, well, I have cut it more low end out. There's no compression on this one. EQ is kind of similar. Let's see if I've done a compression on the individual. Yeah, so there's a little bit compression on the individual tracks. Evens it out just a tiny amount. And then there's some effects. There's dimension. Let's actually listen what there is. I don't remember anymore. So there's H3000, the micro pitch shift mode, widens it, adds nice static chorus. Dual delay, which is kind of Van Halen settings. Left and right sides are different. Then a circular delay, which I've done with the FabFilter's Timeless 3. And that's the effects on the... This isn't going anywhere. The ping... There's ping pong on one part here. Let's see where I ordered. Here's ping pong. There's a little bit ping pong, and on this heavy part there's ping pong. A lot of automation to get, movement and make it more alive. So the first chord on each chorus is a little bit louder, then it goes gradually down. Then some parts are louder. Here, like it goes louder, then a little bit louder. Again, the first chorus louder. The verse is a little bit quieter. Lots of automation. So when I mixed this, the mix was actually mostly just automation because, I was the producer and recording engineer and player, so we dialed the sounds while we were recording on the way in and then adjusted these a little bit. So then when I actually mixed this, it was mainly just balancing it and doing automation and fine-tuning the EQs and compressors, but not that much. So that's basically the guitar arrangement and sounds. So 3 rhythm guitars, hard left, hard right, one center that's not always on, and then these melody guitars, and these kind of goes along with the keyboards. Let's listen where the keyboards are. Here is the keys bus. So the keyboards are kind of doing the same thing, among many other things. And that was it. I will do separate videos for drum mixing, keyboard mixing, and vocal mixing. But hopefully you found this interesting and informative. Maybe even learned something, or at least get some ideas to your own productions. Links, to everything that I mentioned here in the description below. Cyhra website, link where you can stream the song, and check out especially with Apple Music, you can listen to these re-recorded songs already. And there's even a bonus track song which is on all digital platforms, with last aside is Sammy L, and on this song Jake growls the first time. It's pretty interesting. But hey, hopefully you like the new Cyhra single and like this video. Thumbs up if you like this, hit the subscribe button, you know that stuff. Until next time, take care, adios.